Hello, humans, and welcome to another episode of Gen X Gamer. Guys, I'm going to react to Mike's Gaming Gala interview of Opcode, and it's a reaction. I'm not going to play the video. I'm going to put it down below so you guys can see it. But I'm going to give you my thoughts. I was watching this at work, on my breaks, listening to it on the drive home. And let me tell you, it really broke my heart to see somebody so talented be frustrated with his business process. Right? All I'm going to do here in this video, guys, is constructive criticism. I mean, no disrespect whatsoever when I'm going to say what I'm about to say. So please do not take it in the wrong way. This is an antiquated business proposition that he has, and that's why he's frustrated, right? There's plenty of ways to get success in this retro market. I want you guys to succeed, whether it's Opcode or anybody else out there making games. But you really have to switch your mindset when it comes to developing your games, to developing your talent, to being rewarded for your hard work. Anybody's going to get frustrated if you work really, really hard, put in all this time, dedicate your spare time. Maybe some of you have, full-time jobs and you're doing this. And at the end of the day, you're not even breaking even. I know you do it for the love of the games, but you can only make so many and not make any money. That's reality, right? That's reality for, unless you're independently wealthy, unless you're Palmer Lucky, you have to make money. And I want you guys to make money. There's plenty of us out there, guys. We're not, if you ask most game hoarders out there, I don't go in there, whether it's this or at the video game store. I try to get the best deal possible, but I'm not there nickel and diming, right? Most of us we're in a mature age, right? We're making good money. We have good jobs. You just have to give us what we want. You just have to give us a good product. But you also have to market to many diverse people. If you only market to us, your market is limited, and you're not even offering samples of your work out there. So what I want to do is show you both business propositions, right? Why one model is extremely successful and one is not. One is frustrating. Guys, whenever you're working at anything, whenever you're working at anything, and you can see it in a company when they have inefficient processes, you're going to go into work and everything's such a drag, right? You go to accounting, accounting is a nightmare. Or, you go to it could be the quality department, it could be finance, it could be anything, right? The processes are broken, and if it's a struggle for you to accomplish things, you're going to get frustrated at any job. It doesn't matter what it is, even if you love it. If you're a mechanic and you don't have the right tools, you're going to get frustrated. If you're a plumber, don't have the right tools. It's the same thing if you're making video games. If you're operating under an antiquated system that doesn't reward your efforts, you will get frustrated, and you can hear it in this man's voice. At the peak, right? At the peak of Intellivision popularity right now, where people are making money selling ROMs, he's deciding not to sell. Right? You're deciding not to because it's too hard. At the time where a lot of people are seeing success, that tells you that the model's broken. So when it comes to these kind of small companies where you're actually fronting up all the money, or you do pre-orders, in this case, for example, he's a small operation. Everybody, nobody spoke badly about his quality. What are people frustrated with? His delivery, right? What did we talk about before? What is the most important thing in business? Always be on time, right? Why do I back up certain projects and not other ones? Because they always deliver on time. When I give them the money, right, and they tell me it's going to be such date, that's when it comes out. I don't have to worry about it. It's automatic, right? They have a work process in place where they say it's 6 weeks or 8 weeks or 12 weeks, whatever it is, that's the day, right? Because they have processes in place, because they're disciplined, they work disciplined, and there's just not, working out of the garage or when I have time. And you see these problems in the retro community all the time with people that are trying to do projects on their own. If you want to be rewarded, if you want to make money, and if you want to keep on doing it, without seeing all this stress, you have to change the business plan. So let me show you what a good business plan looks like when it comes to retro gaming. So here is Opcode, and you could see it even if there was no sound. Even if it was no sound, this man does not look the happiest, right? And for those of us who are video game fans, who love retro games, guys, if I was making games for a living, I would wake up bricked up every day. It would be my favorite job in the world. Oh my God, I get to make retro games for a living and get paid handsomely for it. What a great job you could have. But when it's a drag because you're not getting paid, because people are late, because all the regular business trauma that you already deal with, that could really erase the joy out of your life, especially when you're eating up expenses and you're not making any money. All right, so what could you do? What could you do? Why are so many retro homebrew developers and programmers leaving money on the table? It is marketing. It is marketing. You have to sell to as many people as possible. Not just me, not just guys that are going to get on a live stream, not just YouTubers that want a free game so they can stream it, and get, views for one video. No, you have to sell to everybody, especially if you have a good game. So if we look at an opcode here, right, the money maker, right, like the one I would buy right now, is back ordered. And the problem is, when is it going to be back ordered to? I don't know, maybe a couple of months, 2 months. You know what I could do with $65? Trying to shop for Game Boy games? That could be anywhere from 3 to 6 games. Money is time. Time is money. You're leaving money on the table, so you can't deliver it, right? You can't deliver it for 2 months, whatever it is. Why isn't there a sample somewhere? So that way you can entice people to wait. itch.io, right? You can put it on Steam, wherever, right? Wherever. But you can't, because these are, arcade ports, right? That's the importance. And at least during his video, he said, hey, I'm going to go into my own independent properties, my own IPs, which is a great thing to do, because that will not only provide you that Kickstarter, but will enable you to have passive income in the future, because you already made the game. You can put it in 10 different stores, and maybe you only make $10 a month. But if you make 100 games, that's a cool G you can take. Yeah, why not? Right? Every month, as you make more and more games, and that's just off digital. That's just off digital. You could sell it in your store, right? You could have the sample right here, right, to promote it. But a better way to do it, so you're not having to deal with all the upfront cost, is, let's go to, and I didn't share the window feed here. I'm talking to myself. Here's Popeye, right? And it's back ordered, like I said. And there's no link to get a free sample or anywhere to play it. I don't know, a torrent. I don't know, right? But you could go to something like this, and let me show you a successful project. Right? This is Kickstarter. And again, I don't know why you guys are so hung up on Kickstarter when it can really give you some exposure. Look at this project here. You can start off with $7 Canadian. Right? These guys are in Canada. What is that? About $6 just to be on their Discord. That's a digital asset. Huh? What, after you pay, Kickstarter, it's still what, get free 75 cents for everybody that signs. What's the next tier up? Surveillance plus add-ons. You can be a stimulant at $20, right? And at $20, you get a digital copy of this brand new game. The digital copy is already in, right? And from stimulant, you go to collector. Now you get a soundtrack, right? Now you get a soundtrack, right? What is this? $19, right? Still digital, right? Still all products, and you're offering more. Ink Runner. Now you get a comic book. It's your own IP. You just made this game. It's a homebrew game. It's your property, right? And you're saying, well, wait a minute. I don't have money to do all. No, that's what the Kickstarter is for, right? If you're a reliable game maker and people have trust in you already, and people have bought games from you already, this will help you raise capital in order for you to deliver on time, which is the most important thing. But on top of that, it gives you the marketing, the ability for you to market with that demo. That is so important for you to do. Again, this will only work if you have business discipline. If you're a guy that just, I'm going to work today, I'll work on the game next week, you want to do it on your own time, well, that's passion project. You're not looking to make money. But if you're investing, $5,000, $8,000, $10,000 on your own money to make a game, and then you're trying to scrape, money together just to break even, and at the end maybe lose a couple of $1,000, how does that make sense? It doesn't, right? And look, they just keep piling on here. You got a 26. You want to buy stickers only? There you go. Pledge $40. Wall of names. This is where you guys, as homebrewers, can give something to the players that they can't get anywhere else. Anywhere else. How about your name is a message in the wall of names? Your name right there. Do you think you're going to buy any video game commercially that's going to put your name on their game? No, you're not. But you can do it here. You can do it as a homebrewer, right? If you're not doing these kind of things, guys, you are leaving money on the table. You know how many old dudes like myself would love to have their, even if you're just making the arcade port, you know how much we would pay to have our name on a Popeye game? Are you kidding me? Did I say more? Right? You're already making the game. It's already back ordered. Change up the marketing. Maybe you have a game out there. You're already selling it. You're already taking the chance of you getting shut down anyway. Right? But if it's your own IP, you can go to town. You can go to town, and you can even get deeper. Right? Wall of names, add-on access, get your name alongside a short message of your choice engraved in the market area. Now you're giving the ability these of game players to have something personal on the game. Guys, and these are digital assets. The cost to what the money you can make is amazing. The ROI, return on investment on this, you're getting 90%. You can charge, a pretty decent fee, and you can gauge it, right? You put your name. Okay, now if you want a custom message, is this? How hard would it be for you making games out there? It wouldn't be that hard. Again, you're leaving money on the table because your business plan sucks. I'm sorry. Right? But I can only help you by telling you the truth. Look at what's working. Look at what's working and imitate that. You don't have to, especially in these days where everything's available on the internet, you don't have to, reinvent the wheel. You could just look at one of these established business plans and do the same. Okay, work with us and put your very own graffiti. A digital asset. Is this a good idea or is it not? We're going to find out. I think it's a great idea, right? You might disagree out there, but you'd be wrong. You'd be wrong. Because people love that personal experience. People love customer service, guys. Sorry, guys, I've been talking a lot at work. Rinky's edema is bugging me again. So, Megaphone, 120, about $87. Right? This is all Canadian, guys, so it's all relative. I'll put a link to both of these. I'll put a link to Mike's live stream, to the Opcode Store if you guys want to go support, because he is a talented man, but he could do so much more with his own IPs or even with his store right now. It should look a lot better. Even navigating the store is not a great experience. Okay, 5 digital copies, each for only $10 each. Copy also includes vault rewards, yada, 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 right? So they get better. Megaphone, digital copy, developer commentary. What? Insider, take part in a live behind the scenes. $182. Still, it's cheaper than an arcade went up. And you get a more experience, a more custom experience, right? And they just get better and better. Godfathers, right? Design an NPC. You design an NPC for about $236. Isn't that cool? Isn't that great? I would say so. I would absolutely say so, right? But you need to have the discipline and the team in place, right? When you're doing these type of planning, guys, and you're going to make a contract like this with the people, it's always great to have what we call in the business a contract review process, right? And that's when you get together with your team. You have your programmer, you have project manager, the artist, the music people, everybody that's going to participate, right? And you go line by line. What is it going to take so you can manage a project properly, and you can have an estimated timeline, right? And you can get that. If you work hard and everybody's consistent and you hire professional people, you can be done with a project in time, give or take 15%, right? And then just extend the delivery date to the later date. On the 50%, 15%. And then if you finished earlier, great, you deliver on time, right? But don't overpromise and underdeliver, which is the great ailment of all homebrewers, right? But as you can see, these are just great. Design the art of a non-playable character. Hello, for about $300. Can you imagine this in a retro game that everybody loves? Can you imagine this in a digital product? How many of us know about 10 people, 10, that would love to put something like this on something that would put on in television Sprint? How many? We know the YouTubers would right away, right? So they can stream it. They're going to show it to you. Free advertising, and on the digital product, it's passive income later. So you see how this marketing works? They're charging people so they can advertise their game. It's awesome. It's awesome, right? Because what are players going to do? Hey, I'm in this game. Look at it. Let me film it on YouTube. Let me show you, right? Let me show it on social media. Design and write an NPC. Now they're having you work for them. Look how ingenious this is. Oh my God. I mean, this business-wise, guys, it's just amazing, right? The ingenious part of this is that now people are paying you to work for free, right? So you're going to pay $471 so you can design and write the NPC yourself. Life does not get better than this. You see what a superior business plan this is, right? Get a set of 8 tight cut down stickers, thank you note, doodle from Toothy Pish, plus rewards, and you can just go on and on. These are all sold out, right? At what is it, $551. You obtain swag. Okay, so you think this is not successful, right? There's 0 backers of this, because nobody's gonna buy a shirt, right? So how many takers do we have? 0, 3, right? But there's a sucker born every day. But the availability, right? The availability of this, of getting 3 employees for free, is amazing. It's just capitalism at its best, right? Streetwear. Okay, what else we have? Oh, 2 backers for the Archivist, $601. Get a hand-drawn custom art piece of a character of your choice. What? 5 backers for... Design a short sub-level of your own that will appear as an explorable area. So you design it. But you get to pay $725. You know, just looking at, there's already 5 backers. I have to say, this thing probably reached its goal. There's 0 backers for this. Design an entire level. Nobody wants to do that. But the monolith has 2 backers for $7,000. What? That is crazy. That is crazy money. Oh, wow. Well, guys, how much money do you think this made? How much money do you think this made? Let's see. What in the world? $73,116. And they wanted, well, not maybe Canadian, right? Still, what is it, $60,000? Over 1,000 backers. You know, you look to see those kind of numbers, right? And that doesn't mean that the retro community is going to get, 1,000 backers. Could you get 300? Could you get 500? Maybe. If the game's good enough, if the platform's popular enough, right? But even from the numbers that they were talking about before, which is only about 150 orders. What are you doing with 150 orders? I mean, that's not going to do much, right? The cost of your cartridges, you're not going to get any discounts if you order 150. Probably you have to order 200, so you got to sit on 50 cartridges till the next run, right? And then just order another 100 the next time, right? So you're really limiting yourself, right? Is this game going to be super amazing? Who knows? Who knows? But the business plan was great. Even if the game's okay, they still win. They've already locked in profit. As soon as this is done, within 4 days, the profit's locked in. Now you're not stressed about showing up to work because you already made your money, right? All you have to do is deliver on time, which is what a lot of people are not doing. If you do that, that's a way better business model. Look, if you have the money, fund it yourself. But offer these kind of things. You're leaving money on the table. There's plenty of people who will just pay you another $20, right? They buy the game for $20. They'll pay you another $20 to be in the credit. They'll probably pay you more than that. But you can't have $65 physical games out there that only sell to 150 people at best. That sweet spot is about $39.95 for physical. That's where you want to get it. You don't have to front it yourself, but you can crowdfund it, right? If you're a good and honest person, a hard worker, people will back you up. All right, guys, those are just my thoughts on a late Saturday night here. Baby's asleep. I'm tired as heck. But I really want to make this video just to talk to the community, and just say, hey, you can do better. You can definitely do better. Do not get frustrated by the business side of it. It could be really frustrating. Just have a better business plan. Have better processes. Be disciplined and always be on time. What an opportunity you guys have. I wish I was talented enough to make games myself, but I'm not. You out there can live the dream and make a bunch of money. Well, maybe not a bunch, but $50,000, $40,000. Why not? I'll catch you on the next one. Take care.